in there.
Okay, thank you so
All
much.
right. You're all right. Good.
You like that?
You know,
Can I would tell you?
yeah, you know, enjoy yourself. Then you can say, you know what you going through here. Anyway, yeah, and it's quite disheartening, and I'm just getting from Louis Kono,
Yeah.
one of our former
Yeah.
employees here, and of course our man, and you know, before the AEC powers, you know, the drainage could be constructed,
Yeah.
you know, towards the police station side, and that would have helped the situation in relation to your earlier comment that you made. So let me now get to Emmanuel Biere this morning on Truth 96.1 FM, the Art and Soul of Liberia. And I'll try to speak with William Colley in Banga. Remember, Liberty Party went there to join, to give their support to Dr. Henry Tokpa, and William Colley, who is also a member, because they all were able to come over during the election time. I know he stayed there or he stayed doing the yeah, he fought with them on that and said that there are few guys from the LP who are not in support of that, and so they are supporting the coalition's candidate in Marvin Cole. So I will try to speak with him as well, and let me see, because I'm really sure that Dr. Lester Tenney might have some challenge, especially when you pass in via town. I think it will be very challenging, yeah, for them. I can really understand that. I really understand the situation. But whichever way it goes, and I hope I'll get our defense minister on the other side. I hope he's on the other side. Emmanuel Biere is now on the line. Good morning, Biere.
Good morning, AB, and good morning to the good people of Liberia.
Okay, great to have you on this morning. How's Buchanan City and the flooding situation? They said the GBCC has gone.
Well, yes, the rain is so heavy here again this morning, and of course, some parts of Buchanan are being flooded, specifically the area around the Board Town and Terpo, the road leading to the loop where Asma Meta is. That entire area is flooded. Even the house of the county information officer for Grand Baza County is almost going. So it's not this thing here.
So what about, because I saw a picture on Facebook that the road leading to the GBCC has been cut off.
Oh yes, that's one of the areas I just forgot to say. The Grand Baza Community College, the road leading there. In fact, that is the only road and the bridge that leading to that area. I mean, the bridge is being cut off. There's no activities now going on the campus of the Grand Baza Community College. That entire area is flooded. The bridge has been almost taken over by the rain and the flood. So right now, as we speak, there's nobody going in. There's no one coming out because the water over there is the Benson River, and that place have a very high tension. So it's not easy that anybody cross over that place right now.
All right, tell us, you said yesterday there was this strange protest carried out by guys claiming to be angry seditionists, but you've been there in Basa. Tell us, who are those? You identify them, knowing them to be seditionists, and what the protest was about.
Yes, Evie. The guys that were protesting yesterday are people that I know. They are people that I know that were in the vanguard of the Coalition for Democratic Change. Some of them for the past 12 years, some of them for 6 years, and of course some of them just joined in 2017. As you may know, the CDC is a coalition. And so people coming from NPP, LPDP, and down on the coalition, down on the Congress itself. So those three political parties that came together, there are people from there who are in Grand Baza County here. One of the guys among them is one Dalito Bono, who serves as the spokesperson for the campaign team of the coalition based on 2017. And the guys are saying that they are being left at the wayside. There's no understanding about their status, about how they're going to get something to do on job, and of course the county leadership, they are not paying attention to them, and there are a lot of questions that they raised. And when we spoke with them yesterday, the first thing started at the Buchanan City Corporation. As you may know, the county chairman for the coalition is the now city mayor of Buchanan City, and so. That was the first area they went to let the city mayor know, who is also the chairman of the coalition, that indeed they are disenchanted, and they were there for the whole day. I tell you, if you follow the rain, follow that heavy downpour of rain solid those kind of there, and they never hesitated. From there, they went to the port of Vicano. The city mayor did not say a word to them. He did not speak on any issue. He didn't say in his comment. He could not speak on any of the issues. And so the leader on left and went to the port of Vicano. When they went to the port of Vicano, fortunately for them, they met the management consultant, who is one Michel Reeves, Councilor Michel Reeves. He came out and spoke to them. He gave them courage, promised them that at the end of this week, there's going to be some redress, and because seditionists, I mean, there are jobs there for sedition, but they're trying to do some consultations as to where and how to implement it in those areas. So maybe yesterday, that was the scene in Grand Bassa County.
So with that, let's look at the current situation, especially the economic hardship and in terms of the prevailing rate and all of those in Bassa. What are ordinary citizens saying?
Even yesterday, after the president's speech, there were mixed reactions. I remember I was on the Tottenham Street when the president has just ended his speech. And a lot of people, started to say, sometimes it was mixed reactions, as I said. A lot of people were saying, oh, the young people, the older people always blaming the young people, saying it is the young people that poverty. How can the president tell somebody to bear patience? We will be hungry when we die. How will that patience work? And other people were saying, my people here, we need to wait. The men left the country and he didn't have anything in the cupboard. So other people were also asking, if he didn't have anything in the cupboard, how did he manage to tell people that indeed he's going to infuse 25 million in the Liberian economy and what have you? So the reaction of people were mixed yesterday on the entire street. People were arguing, people were saying their minds as to, Liberia made mistake. Other people say it was not mistake. Other people say, because before the election, there was the perception that indeed Maladugli, had a vision that somebody SYD was going to be president and the country was going to move forward. So people are trying to use that Liberians always take false prophecies, and sometimes they say things that are not real. So it's just hard. If everything that is put up here in the county, I don't know about Monrovia, but right now we're buying one magic of bucks, we're buying $10, we're buying a Vita $10, and everything is coming here.
Wow. All right, and let's see what happens in the coming days. And remember, the president has said that he's going to, he has already instructed the central bank to infuse on 25 million. As to what form and manner in which it will be done. But of course, let's watch the coming days and see what happens.
Yeah, we hope to see a better one.
All right. Thank you, Emmanuel Pierre there. And this broadcast is relayed on Wazoo FM and, of course, Classy FM as well. This morning on Truth 96.1 FM, the heart and soul of Liberia. And this is where national unity begins. And it's quite interesting morning. And it's good that we really look at some of these issues repeatedly, because this country, quite an interesting country, we're really getting there. We are getting there. And it's good. It's good that we get there. So I'll try to link up because the flooding situation is quite keen as well. I want to see whether we can go on somewhere in Bangabong County. But in the wake of all of that, it's good that we will stress out this morning. Joe will try to get out there and maybe speak with you. I'll call us on what your take is on what the president must have said on yesterday, and what are some of those situations. Well, someone told me yesterday the slogan of the CDC was issue about change for hope. Now the change has come. Today we are now hoping. And everything the president said yesterday, Oscar, that is why we were calling the economic expert here with us from the rank of the CDC, Dr. Lester Tenney, so that he will have given us update on what it is. He lays as far as I'm understanding Broadview. I don't know here to really get here. I think it would have been challenging for you. I was just trying something anyway, and he had accepted that you have come. But anyway, and looking at that, I was just doing some research last night. And Oscar, this country, we have to do a lot to really see that our country to move on there are multiple ways through which a country can intervene or manipulate or be cynical in their own currency market. And we have our own. And what they're doing now, the action taken by the president, in economic terms or financial terms, you call that one pegging. Yeah, you call that pegging because what is pegging to the US dollars. Now, what he's trying to do is to make sure that our local currency has some value. Yeah. So yeah. To have some value. So in our pegging currency, what is happening is you pump in more of what is being demanded to hold your own, to be able to make sure that you have some value on your own currency. Because if you don't have more of what is being demanded, your local currency will depreciate. So what you do, you pump in, like in countries like China and so forth. What they do, specifically, they don't make this issue about US and so forth to be, you went Zimbabwe. And then you saw what happened there. The short period I even spent, what they even do to be able to mash up and fight it, though they still have, that's why people getting problem with the dual currency regime here. It's just that so now we pull in sometimes exportation, and those are some of the issues that are really affecting us. We don't export anything in the extractive sector, but that is manageable as well. So what you do is that you set official currency rates, and then what he's about to do, if it were to happen in the coming days, you pump in this money and say we are going for it to match it up so that our currency can have some level of value. Because the reason the US dollar is being looked for is because it's few. So you now look for that US dollar and pump it into buy your own market. So it's like you buying your own thing because we don't have goods that you think we can tell people to bring the currency. Two things can happen. Either cash infusion, and that is what he's doing, or produce that which we don't have.
You export.
So that is why it is, because when you have locally made produce, it will attract the foreign currency because people will come for it to carry it. So the foreign currency will come, that will be able to give you more value because that is what it is. So people will be in demand because the foreign currency will now be trooping into the country. Since it's not that case, we now look for the foreign currency itself and pump it to get the money. And that is what we are now doing. That's the pegging to the US dollars. That's the kind of strategy that the president and team trying to work on now. But how far can that go? How long? How can we get it done? We cannot keep doing it.
The sustainability of it.
My question was, which of course one of those who are being asked is this. If it is true, and that is where we are taught our lawmakers who have been focusing, they are currently running away from the real issues, they jump into issues that don't really matter for now. What our lawmakers are supposed to be doing is to summon and, of course, conduct a comprehensive audit of the CBA. Let's first conduct it and know how much was printed. Because what will happen is, if you have assets on the market, the liquidity strength of our country will not stay hold, because what will happen is, if you put even the 25 million out, they see illegal money that passing all over the place will suck all that money. You go back to square one. You see what happens? Because if we know how much is in circulation, then we will be able to calculate this 25 million, what level of impact is going to make against what we know is in circulation. You see that? The Liberian dollar is not used outside of this country. It's used here. So we know the amount that is in circulation. So we'll know this 25 million, how much impact it's going to make. Now you don't know. So let's understand, maybe as an example now, you have 55 million because they said 55 million of what they printed, according to them. But that we should know is what it is. It's what you are matching against. The hypothetical situation now. It's what you are trying to match against. And then you were able to find out that you put 25 million that were affected maybe because the president said that the depreciation has hit at 50%. It was first 25% in 2016. It went up to another additional 25% in 2017. Yeah. So it's 50% depreciation now. So like your 25 million you coming to pump in, you should know what is going against. Do we know the strength of the currency is going against? We know how much is our local currency on the Liberian market. How much in circulation? We don't know.
And maybe you have a point. And that's why I always say to people that if we are just people who are listening, and not just listening, but actually taking in some of these free tutorials that we are offering, our country will move forward. Two things I want to stress on that particular point. And let me first of all say thank you to the President, His Excellency, for that decision. Like you said, it's a very good venture. We're just hoping that more can be done in terms of the procedures, that will go along with it, so that we know how much this amount will be going against. But the first thing, like I said, two things I want to talk about on that issue. The first thing is that, Ebi, remember here, we said when the president took over and the president started to talk about road development, we said road development is very key. Road connectivity, it's so vital to our country's development, in terms, especially our economic situation. But we said to the president that there are urgent priorities. Not that people and other Liberians who were saying to the president that, Mr. President, yes, we understand roads are very important, but there are urgent priorities that you need to tackle right now. We have an economic situation. We have, the economic climate of our country is so hot. So we needed the president to have taken those first measures. Yes, road is good, but what will the people be surviving on? And somebody argue, but I just consider that as a business argument. Somebody was arguing and said, Liberian man, I just food. If you don't have food, how will you be able to go out? If your country is not economically stable, how will you be able to even construct your roads? So we said to the president, Mr. President, yes, roads are very good, but there are urgent priorities. And thank God now that the president has seen that indeed there are urgent priorities, that the people, his people, the people that have been loved by him, and he too loves his people, are actually crying from the economic harsh.
Yeah, it's too much, man.
It's too much. So I think the president, I want to say congratulations, Mr. President. Though earlier on he termed people who were against the road as enemies of the state.
Plenty.
Against development as enemies of the state. But now we see, and again, the very people who quote unquote believe to be loyalists to the president came out and say, condemning our road. Now we're saying that indeed this is the real situation.
No, we are getting there.
We are getting there. This is the real situation. So when people talk, don't just wake up and say they are enemies of the state and you start criticizing them because they are not citizens or whatever. And the second thing, Ebi, like you asked the question, how much is this 25 million going against? We care to know. The central bank governor resigned and no one has summoned him. Now, I was reading front page African newspaper yesterday, and one of the stories published, I saw and heard the speaker, the Honorable Speaker of the 54th Legislature, Dr. Buffer Chambers, calling for the need to prosecute, to audit and prosecute people who have been in past governments. Because this is the situation, Ebi. We should not be shying away from the real situation. And I want to 100%, though there were other things that he said, blaming the economic situation right now that our country is facing to the alien regime.
No. He was very scarce of blame yesterday. He didn't want to be too exact.
He didn't want to be
But there was no way that you cannot trace this back, especially if you said the depreciation started in 2016.
So that's why
2017.
I said to somebody,
it hit at 50%.
on a vehicle yesterday, that if you haul rope will haul boot. Now, remember Ellen Johnson's Sirleaf-led government? It was not only Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, or it was not only the United Party that was serving in that government. There were seditions, there were Liberty partisans, there were
Liberty Party. Liberty Party.
So there's a need for us to audit the entire government. And some of them who are even seated there, one way or the other, they could be implicated into the situation. So there's a need. I agree with Dr. Buffer Chambers. We're seeing that situation happening in Sierra Leone, in other countries. Why can't we bring it? Why should we continue to cover our past leaders?
Then Oscar, the next thing that I would like for the president to do, this is give advice to the president. These are some of the efforts that you can exert. Now, though we don't know how much is in the market, the next thing in line is capital controls. How much money leaving the country? They're not chasing any goods at all. Because that over 400 million, the central bank reported, that just left this country. with no traces.
Though the president said that it was not pocketed by people.
No, yeah, they said it was not pocketed by people. But let me tell you how it leaves.
This is why, again, I even blame the current Minister of Information. You did not, but I don't understand. You know, every day I sit and I wonder whether the big brother is actually thinking about moral and integrity issues. Because you served in the government as the mouthpiece, the official mouthpiece of a government that is being heavily criticized today, and you are serving in that same capacity.
And then anyway, but let me tell you now the control mechanisms. Let me tell you the control mechanisms that need to be put in place. Already, we're not producing anything. Then, people are in the habits of involving themselves in a situation that will get more US dollars just leaving the country, and they're not bringing nothing back to this country.
But what they get to bring?
Do you know why other countries, they will prefer that officials of government not just travel? You know the reason for that? Do you know that when you travel alone, you know how much US dollars you're taking for this, and you're not bringing anything back?
They're big promises.
They're big. No, they will go and sit down. Then you see them put it on Facebook. Oh, I met with so. Nothing good they discuss. The president need to be very much. Let these people sit down. Look, the money that they were talking about, I left this country. That's how he left. That's how he left. See how many they can be signing for somebody to go. They say the other person going for certain seminar on this side. That US dollar going there. So now Liberian dollar going on.
Yeah.
The other person going for so trip on this side. That US dollar going so. Nothing going.
A lot of forums, a lot of conferences.
So that is why if the president and the CDC was talking about agriculture. I remember I talked to Nathaniel McGill during the campaign time, and those were some of the issues. And the people who have the power to invest into the agricultural sector are the people who get the jobs. Poor boy like me, I can't go do garden now. I can't get it.
You can start a small garden.
So now where are coming? It will not be a mechanized one. The people who get the power to do that, the people who get the heavy money. If they were to say, we'll invest into it, people like, who imagine people like Akaras Graydon will spend 12 years in government, nothing to show that they have invested in this country, that will be able to bring something back from this country with the exception of, oh, I passed this other bill. I passed this one. Yeah, granted, you pass it. What is your personal contribution to this country that you have made? Yeah, Representative Snow, thank you. Yes, that man pound farm. You know how many people working there now?
See the main radio station.
You see the main radio station? You know how many people working there? How many of us will sit down and say, okay, today, it's not time that we start thinking and then try to broaden everything. And then you look at somebody who can come to you and beg you. Because our lawmakers can complain that people come and beg them. Open farm. Anybody beg you, tell them, say, I will send you on a farm there for you to go work. At least
just giving him fish.
If he says no, he will not come back to you. So then you tell the man, say, go on a farm to work. And if he ran away from that farm, he will never come back to you again. If he didn't do, the fact of the matter is, these are the kind of things that we should be doing. Because I know for sure that we don't have millionaires in this country. Yeah, they have the assets. They will sit and say this. Yeah, that's it. But the government needs to be very much proactive. And the president needs to now start telling these people that these are the situations, that these are things we need to do. Gentlemen, when you do this, you open this, this is what will happen. Like in other countries, that's exactly where the strength of the country is. Because we all know agriculture. Just go and sit there and call one government official here. They will kind of tell you, say, we need to invest more in agriculture. As you say, you get garlic. You tell you, say, no, I don't get it. But we need to do it.
They don't lead by examples.
Then they want the common man who has got nothing to start up with, to be the one to do it. When you hear them talking about Liberia must go back to the soil, now they don't want to talking about.
No.
That don't prepare in the villages and town and they're talking about. Hey, guess what now? They can say, guess what they can be saying? Oh no, you're just passing around entire, you don't want to go back to the farm.
Yeah.
That you can go back there and you they putting more on it out. You're just passing all around. Whole day you're baking, you don't want to go back to the farm. You yourself are sitting down in the office there.
That's
you don't
where they can have the agricultural break.
In fact, they not change it from agriculture break now to constituency break. Yeah, they say agriculture break is too much. It doesn't work that way. So let's just speak just few calls because in these kind of discussions, just open the lines. just few moments with our callers.
Yeah, definitely. So
and then it will be good for us. And then we about to get them on now.
Yeah.
David Coty was calling for what purpose? I don't know, but I don't think. I don't know David Coty. David Coty, this high shape, will you be on the stage to construct a monument? Because you should go raise money too.
Yeah,
Why will you now be doing that?
my
Yeah.
man needs-
So you see the good things of this country, and whatever, my man, we just need to pray that the president must succeed.
I tell you. Yeah,
Because I know the pinch that we all going through. I know what we're going through.
We'll pray for
That's
him
why we
and continue
pray
to
that the
say the
president
right
must
things.
succeed. Yeah, the president must succeed. David Coty is on the line, and let me try to speak with Coty. Good morning, Mr. Coty.
Good morning, AB. Good morning, Oscar.
Yeah, good morning.
You know, I've been listening to you both this morning, and I want to say many thanks to you. But you say you're not an economist. But you just mentioned something that I think the government should do something about. That's major. In fact, you mentioned another one later on about this capital flight. But I think it is important that there be an audit of the central bank to know exactly how much we have in circulation. Like you rightly said, if we don't get to know that the 25 billion is going to go nowhere, and the president will spoil again. So I think the first, maybe they have taken all of that into consideration. But I think that's the first thing we need to do. Know how much it is in circulation. Because from the time those new money were printed, from that time up to today, I do not know how much was printed. People have been asking, nobody can answer that question. So how much is actually printed? We want to know. Before the 25 billion, let me thank the president first. I think he wants to put us in for a good reason. But we need to help to advise him. We need to know how much is there. And number two, this capital flight.
Yeah.
In Ghana and other places, you don't just take money out like that. The US dollars. They guide it. They protect it. So thank you, but man, you say you're not in a communist, but it looks like you need to teach it.
Yeah, we'll offer it to-
Emmanuel Azango, good morning.
Good morning, AB.
Yeah, fine. Good morning, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, AB, I listened to you this morning, and I was very much moved. Also listened to the president yesterday. I think the president knew well, but there are certain things that is lacking. I was expected yesterday for the president, because yesterday he said he wants to meet with the economic management team. In subsequent time, there will be a series of policies being initiated. And I posted on my Facebook yesterday what needs to be done. But the most important thing is, if you want to more public liquidity asset, that's why yesterday you say you up to $5 million into the economy. That which entails having an issue of TVO, printing of load, engaging other people, increasing rates, and also attracting people to buy the TVO, which would have a short-term immediate effect to alleviate some of the things that we're going on to. But I would actually urge the president to move in this particular direction. That as of the beginning of this school year, all school fees should be paid in Liberia dollars. All hospital bills should be paid in Liberia dollars. Because these are the problem that we're experiencing. You go for a checkup, David, they are asking you, say, you will pay $10 for consultation. When you are done, they give you all the medical benefits. They give you your entire list into US dollar. You now got to go on the market and get to the US dollar. We made the US dollar to be so demanding. School have got to open again. School are not charging to the US dollar. There was a measure that should be taken by the government now. It's a time of take care of all school fees should be paid into Liberia dollar. All hospital bills should be paid to Liberia dollar. Same money if you take, for instance, you have buying a tube of sand. You are importing. Somebody is charging you say you want to pay into US dollar, one rule of 10, and one rule of 10, one rule of salt, and one cost what? Why does that make sense?
Yeah.
If we have to, before we can move for the dollarizing, government measures should be put immediately.
Okay.
So after they have to mop up the excess liquidity.
Okay.
The excess of the brother into liquidity as well.
All right, thank you, Azango. Thank you this morning, and Oscar can just speak some calls from there. Yeah, so that we move on, and it's quite interesting for us this morning on Truth 96.1 FM. Yeah, sort of Liberia. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ruben. Deputy Jebo, I called from Coffee Fountain, District 15 to be precise.
Go ahead, Dagonti.
Yes. Let me say thank you this morning to you and Oscar. You have said it all. And there is nothing further to be said. You have said it all. And like what the previous caller had said, I listened to the president on yesterday. He spoke well. Others were anticipating that he was spoken on maybe for an hour or plus, but I think he said it all. But the major thing is that the mechanism he talked about, the monitoring policy he talked about, is to be vigilant.
Yeah.
And what he said this morning, it makes sense to me. You must know and how much has been on the market, and if you are infusing the US dollar, you talked about the 20 million, you must know actually how much is on the market presently. And the hardship is too much. It's alarming.
Yeah,
I think it's about time when he said that the laboratory should give some time, they will give some time. But again, what they have been patient of, if they are not serious, it will create a problem.
Okay, yeah, they will see it. It will be ready.
All right.
Good morning.
You get one crack.
Good morning, Davey, and good morning. Let me say good morning to all those monitoring the TVS this morning. Yeah, my name is Joseph T.K. Parfait, and I join you from the R2 community on the Rawafia Highway.
You ought to be fast, brother.
Yeah, okay. My brother, I listened to you when you said most of our lawmakers are refusing to engage into agriculture, which is supposed to help to at least boost the economy of our country through the agriculture. But what happened here? Let us leave the file of the legislature. Let us to look at the Ministry of Agriculture too. Do they have a national farm? I know every blame will squarely be put on the legislature, but what about the Ministry of Agriculture? Do you think it won't be necessary when the Ministry of Agriculture can have a farm and name a national farm?
No, but brother, let me tell you something. When you see the issue of agriculture in other countries, it is not the country just sitting down and saying we open one national farm. It is individual citizens whom themselves venture into that. That what gives the strength. So that in your private capacity. So if I were talking about a lawmaker opening a farm, and I'm sorry, it's about not only lawmakers, I'm talking about even cabinet officials. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that when they do, tomorrow when you are no longer lawmaker, you are still contributing to this country, you are sustaining yourself, you're not going to be looking for a government job, maybe it will be by choice, maybe optional.
Our lawmakers these days have a caliber of working responsibility. Now, my brother, just take a walk at the capital building and see.
And you're not still getting the television to the public.
We have to leave it there. 0775
You're not still getting it.
3757 is the number to call. 0775 373657. Everyone should have a farm. Even if that just got inside, get something. Good morning.
Good morning, Brother AB.
No, you have to walk away from the receiver, else I'll cut you off.
Yeah, I'm listening away from the radio, sir. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm John B. Cooper calling from SB Cooper. You see, Brother AB, this the advantage he started giving the Golden Unity Party then. Now, you told us, we for the party, we need to put our house in order. When we were here and attacking on Marasali birthday, we all kind of think you were there saying, these things were not correct. Again, you are highlighting it. You tell why it is true that you support the change, but you are individual who are very objective. You're telling them that these are things that you need to do. Now they are not listening. When you get ready now to take the nerve to gas them, and now the issue that has to do with the president in your address yesterday. Yes, some of us, we know that it will take time for the economy to be stable.
Yeah.
But it needs to do some level of audit. The audit has to be done from the level of the central bank.
Let's know. Yeah.
Economy. You need to know as to how much of the
all right. I know, my brother. Thank you for that. Thank you for that already. Let me speak with Henson Kiazulu.
Okay.
All right. He's one person who has his own farm. So he's one lawmaker. Yeah. Yeah. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. I know. That's why you call, yeah.
I'm on the highway going for a program on here to have come in quickly
Yeah.
to demystify some of the issues that have been raised and be asked to lawmakers. My brother, it's the responsibility is not only the lawmakers. Your call on the city minister.
No, you're right.
Big farm.
We said that too. We said that too, not only lawmakers.
And on the president's speech, I would love to have a platform to give you few analysis.
Yeah, okay.
The president's speech, okay, you were saying that bad because the president kept to the theme of his speech, the economy. But those targeted points actually were not precise. It missed target like a precision maker, academic side.
Yeah.
I didn't hit the target. And I tell you, the 25 million they are talking about, I'm glad he said realization and not realization. You know, there's much to come out of it. The economy continues to have very low because the getting there, $25 million coming from, one would be the stimulations that will reflect on the economy. He didn't care about that. So, I think mainly most of the officials will share some of that money and they tell you we'll put it on the market for the real estate goals.
And that is why we appreciate. Yeah, that is.
There are a lot of questions
Yeah.
that need to be answered.
Okay.
I can tell you, I'm going to be clear when I come. I'm going to sit on your platform to give the people.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you. We'll highly appreciate that. It's good that you'll be back, and wish you safe drive. And as you head to Buchanan City, Grand Bassa County. All right. So we take a break, get back, and the Defense Minister and Daniel Ziagan is here with us this morning. So we take a break, and former Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia. You know, when you put it to the former Chief of Staff, you say General. You see, he has come back to his civilian role. But once a general, always a general. So that's it. Let's take a break and be right back with sports.
Definitely. So let's take this sport announcement as our break. Then we can take on sport right here on the TBS this morning. This one says the administration of the Lycosis Teacher Training College wishes to announce to school administrators that student teachers are available for a 1-month practice teaching course at their various institutions. The student teachers who are reading our C certificate program in general education can be assigned between ABC to 3rd grade, while the teachers reading our Associate of Arts program can be assigned between 4th to 9th grades only. Teachers reading the AA program can be assigned in their areas of specialization, including mathematics, language arts, social studies, general science, while those reading school administration will be assigned to monitor the assigned teachers. Interested schools should contact 0775 717 210 0886. That's 0880-313-8980, 777-639-944, or log on to www.lycosis.org for more information. Because Lycosis Demonstration School cannot effectively accommodate all these senior students, schools will be required to send a written evaluation of the assigned teachers for administration's decision. This information is only intended for schools opening a vacation school. This is signed by Benjamin Waway, Chief Administrative Officer, Lycosis Teacher Training College. So we can now take a break, take on sports with Naomi Tapia right here on the TBS. Good morning to you, Naomi Tapia.
Good morning, Oscar. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Passion of Life. The Deputy Minister for Sports at the Ministry of Youth and Sports has confirmed Liberia's friendly encounter with Sierra Leone slated for July 22 as part of the Independence Day celebration on July 26. Speaking via mobile phone on 2FM Sports show sports stock on Saturday, and the Kwame said Sierra Leone is expected to arrive in the country on the 21st of July to honor the invitation of the Lone Star of Liberia, something he said has been approved by the Sierra Leone Football Association. Kwame disclosed that Thomas Kojo has been appointed as temporary coach of the Lone Star after a series of consultations and will remain in charge of the DR Congo and Liberia encounter on September 9 as part of the Nations Cup qualifiers. Commenting on the issue of the withdrawal of the national team from the Liberia Football Association, the deputy minister asserted that the role was settled in-house among stakeholders of the Liberia Football Association and the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Grand Bassa County Senator and Liberty Party political leader Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence has admonished officials of the Liberia Kickball Federation to exhibit good leadership while steering the effects of the federation for the next 4 years. Speaking during the induction ceremony of the federation's officials on Friday, Jacob Smith, who proxy for the senator and spoke on the topic leadership with a purpose, disclosed that legitimacy in leadership, which is realizing what you were elected for, is important if one is to succeed in his leadership. Smith called on the officials to develop a cordial relationship with other members of the Federation and be transparent while steering the effects of the Federation. Smith reaffirmed the commitment of Senator Lawrence in empowering women who play sport and challenged the officials to take sports to another level in the country and the rest of the world. The president of the Liberia Kickball Federation has reechoed his commitment in ensuring that the women playing the sport are empowered by means of vocational training for life after kickball. Speaking during the induction ceremony of the officers who were elected in the just ended Liberia Kickball Federation elections, Emmanuel Surprise-Way revealed that he remains committed in ensuring that the women playing the sport will be given financial aid to attend vocational schools in order for them to be women of substance in society after kickball. Weir, who defeated former President Yofa Colley to win the presidency, reassured thanks of the sport of its decentralization across the country and the expansion of it to other neighboring countries. Meanwhile, Weir commended his predecessor Yofa Colley for ensuring the conduct of free, fair, and transparent elections, something he termed as unprecedented in history of the sport, while he pledged to continue the good work done over the years in the Federation. He rained praises on representatives of both District Number 9 and 6, Muna Pena Yomblo and Honorable Samuel Enders, for aiding the Federation when needed. Vision Sisters have again suffered another defeat on Saturday in the ongoing Liberia Kickball National League, this time against Royal Sisters with a 4-2 home runs against them. Supreme in the day's second match bowed to Amazon 3-1, while Cyrus conquered Fake Sisters with a 3-0 home runs. Course United outclassed Young Stars 1-2 to climb Saturday's encounters. In Sunday's fixture and results, Girls of Aries again considered defeat for the second time in a row against defending champions Angels of the Sky or Axe Sisters with a 5-0 home runs against them. Mighty Giant Sisters were overpowered by Watanga 12-2 in the second encounter of the day, while Success Girls, for their part, continued their winning streak against Young Stars Sports International with a narrow 3-2 home runs to remain on top of the table. Finally, Jack Kamara made a name for himself by scoring a hat trick to help his side Chocolate City Old Timer to record the biggest win of the weekend over newcomers Dupero Old Timer 6-0 on Sunday at the Willie D. Knockout Sports page in Zubertown, Pingsville in their opening fixture of the 2018 Luna League. Central Moravia also collected 3 points from Aminum with a 2-1 victory, while Snow Hill secured their first 3 points of the new season after beating Beaumines 2-1. Prince Days Independence East beat Genesis 2-0 in Balanceville versus Veterans settled to a goalless draw. The Liberia's most organized National League will continue this week with 6 games. Those were the latest from RCI Sports Desk.
Yeah, on the line.
enter into a raffle for this July 26th. And what they are expected to win is a Quest TV set, a Quest TV set. You know, Quest TV and original partner.
Yeah. And that's the cheapest TV, satellite TV, cheapest. Cable TV.
1 month subscription as well. So you're not only going to have the set, the Quest TV set, but you're also going to have 1 month subscription, and this is wonderful. Okay, and also you will have the chance to watch the premiere, you know, the Brown Sugar movie that we have Liberian acting in. So the premiere is on the 25th of this month. So you can also have a VIP ticket, not just any ordinary ticket, but a VIP ticket. And so the Orange Song competition is also ongoing. We've had a lot of entries. The entries are still coming in. So we'd like to encourage all our upcoming artists and those who are, you know, household names. Just send in your entries to Orange Competition at toneslibrary.com. That's the email address.
Okay.
Or you can WhatsApp the song to 0770-107-376.
Thank you for the update, and I wish to catch you on Thursday live. All right, thank you. She's Miss Dusville, and of course, from the communications department, and of course, making sure that indeed you follow all of the phones. So for $71, you can get 2 smartphones. One is well upgraded, and of course, another you can just give it to the kids or whatever you can use it. But I'm going to venture into that, and I can assure you, I'm going to make use of that opportunity that has been given with Orange for the 26th. So you see, you have to rush for it because it's time bound. It's for a season, so you have to rush for it, and then you make use of that. Those of you, and I've started clearing my throats all ready to sing. I'm just looking for somebody to go along. Oscar's voice is not too good. Our audition didn't just prove well, and I had to ask him out of the studio so that my one can do my thing. So I'm looking for somebody else to put there. All right, folks, it's good that we're back here on the TBS this morning on Truth 96.1 FM, and that is it. We have with us here, we have Humboldt. Because when I say this is somebody who rarely just come on radio, and since he was appointed by the president, I placed the first call to him, inviting him. He said, hey, B, let's wait. Let's see what happens, you know. Anyway, at that time, he wanted to familiarize himself with the new terrain, though not too new, because his communication used to go to that very terrain. Now he's sitting there as a recipient of those communications from where he sat before. And there is the man now here, former Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia and our Defense Minister, Republic of Liberia, Daniel Ziankan is here with us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, and thank you for the invite.
You stay a general, right?
A general will always be a
general. That's good. How's everything going? In fact, since you took on, like I was able to inform the public just a while ago, this is your first appearance here, and how's things been going in your civilian role?
I think things are okay. You know, they will not always be smooth. There will always be bumps, but I think they are surmountable.
Okay, I love that. There are a lot of issues unfolding currently in country.
Right.
And we've thought to invite you here in the wake of the prevailing situations. Remember, Omeo drawdown, Liberia now in charge of its own security, and a new government is now in office. Unlike the Unity Party-led government that started with the assistance of foreign partners in terms of the security sector, and to the closing stages of it, it was all you have a new government now in place that had to manage its own affairs. And that is the kind of security situation that we face with. And you are one of those persons who were trained to be prepared for this moment. Now you have to be switched towards the administrative component of the governance of the security of the state, serving as defense minister. So you care to tell us how situations like currently, just to give a summary of what it is like in terms of the security sector of the country?
Thank you, AB. I think I want to take this time out to extend my thanks and appreciation and say hands off to all of the government and women of the armed forces of Liberia, and the government and women of other security apparatus, and the Liberian people in general. I think on the overall, the security situation is okay, though we have some issues, we have some challenges. You know, West Africa is plagued with this terrorism thing, and this is why I've just returned from Lomé, Togo. We went to this meeting, and I think the security situation in West Africa is a little bit okay as compared to yesteryears, like 1 or 2 years ago, because the G5 Sahel group that are made of Mauritania, Niger, Chad, Mali, and Burkina Faso. They are doing well with those terrorists or those jihadists in the Maghreb. And we also have the multinational joint task force that has been headed by Nigeria. I think they are hitting the Boko Haram terrorists so hard. So I think we are doing well in West Africa. Yeah.
The reason terrorism is being looked at in the West African sub-region is due to the prevailing situations, the conditions of the people. Because once someone is economically challenged, then the guy who has the catch can dictate the moral standards of that person and tell you which way to go. And that's why the West African sub-region has now become a hub that is on a rare alert, because you have a lot of young people, and this West African sub-region is faced with countries that had young people who themselves has gone through the areas of war. Some of them are brave. So if someone were to come to them with some terroristic offer, it's easy. More especially when you have the catch. So the prevailing economic situation, you had some conferences you guys attended, and you were able to look at that. What are the thinkings of the security sector vis-a-vis the prevailing economic situation that has the propensity to breed people into terrorism?
I think you hit it on the, you hit the nail on the head. Economic inequality. That's one of those things that will make for someone to be law towards going to join a terrorist organization. And I think one of the things that we skipped 1 or 2 years ago was religious tension. You should not be the one to go about trying to Christianize the state, or you want to make it one religion state. You just have to let the people live their life and worship whichever God they believe in, whether it's the stake is the gold, or it's the Dharma, or they believe in the Almighty God, or whosoever they believe in. You should not make that attempt. But I think on the overall, I think the youth of West Africa, they are not really driven towards what we see in the West, where people are just radicalized easily. Okay, most of those terrorist groups, especially in the Maghreb, that those disenfranchised group, or maybe a tribe that has been marginalized, for example, like in the northern part of Mali. So, but that's not the case here. So I think we don't really have anything to worry about much. The only problem there is that, the terrorists, they are hitting anybody who is connected to the West. So if you are connected to France, Great Britain, or the United States of America, just see yourself as a target. Yeah, as a target. So if you even look at us just taking part in the peacekeeping mission in Mali, okay, that just opened up the wound. I mean, bigger than the way you should take.
We now become a direct target because we are fighting them from distance.
Exactly, but that's the right thing to do, because, like I said, the West African states, they came here and we were all beneficiary for more than a decade, from 1990 to 2003 or so, and they just drew down in 2006. I'm talking about UNMIL. So at least to be a benefactor for once, I don't think they will hurt us much.
So that is quite important. Now, so then domestically, we should be strong.
Exactly.
Good. Now we've got a military that was trained by international experts. Right. And the expectation of those people were that when the time shall come that we shall draw down, these people will be independent of their own. Exactly. Can we now speak to it totally that the security sector is now independent?
It has been independent since 2006.
How is that?
No, not since 2016. Since
2016. Okay.
In June of 2016, UNMIL drew down.
Okay.
So they were just here. They had some of the staff that they were maintaining here.
Okay.
They were not shouldering the security responsibility of the state. So what happened here is that we just needed support. I was just speaking to the general this morning. I said he should try to mobilize his guys, because we have this flood just around the whole country now.
Yeah, almost everywhere. Yeah.
So in town parts, we will send a coast guard to rescue people, like the Mangibi area or near the airport or whatever it is. So those are things that I think we should be looking at. I think the security apparatus of this country, I think they are doing well. The only thing is they need support.
And a follow-up question to what Abraham just asked you in terms of the preparedness or the independence of the army. The police, is one of the security apparatus in our country, and we see that the police is actually suffering from what we call manpower and logistical support. You care to tell us about the strength of the army as well as are there logistical constraints?
I think I don't want to dwell on the strength of the military. I'm just really into equipping the military and the type of training.
But you got to know what you're trying to equip them to.
Yeah. So, you know what, we have what we call the TOE, the Table of Organization and Equipment of any institution or any military institution for the matter. So I think we are just a little under 2,000, that's the truth. And so we want to like expand the truth. We want to carry out some recruitment and training. And I think this year budget should provide for that. But it is not just about the size of the military. It's about the type of training they have and the equipment that they have. I think that's what matters. You can get 10,000, and if they don't have the quality of training that's needed for them.
So training and equipment, in terms of training and logistics.
Exactly.
And that's what is paramount.
Exactly.
Logistically, we are nowhere.
I would not say we are nowhere. We are just the minimum.
Minimum.
Right.
And of course, way down the line. And that's what it is like. And let's look at the attrition rate. And that which could be as a result of no good welfare people.
Exactly.
Could you imagine AFL Soyals are standing online to play DVs and they just they want to run away from their own country when they took an oath to defend the country they are willing now to leave. And sworn. Hey, see, these days it speaks volumes of what really unfolding.
Yes, and this is why you will always have those situations. People will always leave the military for family reasons or for different reasons to go and seek greener pasture. But the reality of it is that you have to carry on periodic training so as to offset those people that will be going to make up for the attrition rate. And we have not had any training for the past 2 years. So I think it is important, and I've told the president that at least we have that budgetary allocation for us to have our guys being trained, for us to have fresh boots in the military, for us to expand our footprint in the 15 counties. So these are things that we are working on.
What is Liberia's military strength? What is it supposed to look like? Because if you say 2,000, someone will say, at least that's what we're supposed to have. What it used to be then. And yeah.
It used to be then, I cannot give you the
exact yeah, that's just look at the name.
Right after the Civil War, some say it was 15,000 or 16,000, but that's not true. I think what we really need here, we need just a little over 5,000, maybe 6,000.
For this country?
Yes, exactly. Then that would,
is it not small?
No, it's okay. Look, most of what we would do here, you are now training the military for internal security operations. You have the police, you have the DEA.
And that is why you need more. So that you be able to send them out.
No.
When you send them out, who stays here?
No, yeah. Everything that the military should be doing should not be internal security operations. This is why you have the police for. This is why during the election you did not see the military or to those in places that you saw the police. This is why when there is a little riot, you don't want to see the military there. And we are only there to defend the state from internal insurrection. That is, if somebody wants to really come and support the government, then that you can get it, but it's not for rioting, it is not for people.
No, that we know.
Yeah,
the reason I'm asking about the strength and talking about just 5,000 you just mentioned, that for instance, just for the peacekeeping operations in Mali, how many percent you sending them?
We have about 75 there right now.
75?
Yeah.
Good. Let's understand Liberia based upon the litmus test, the way we have fought how and are they meeting the standard that has spoken to the world now that Liberia can. Why if there were several other missions and Liberia supposed to make contribution? And then you say,
This is what I said, we are there for internal external aggression. If somebody wants to come and try to and subvert the government or bring some insurrection, then of course you have the military. But you don't need a huge military. Because if you have a huge military, you must support. And look what we have, and we are struggling to really take care of the physical need, the medical, and all these stuff. So you really need a smaller troop. well taken care of. And this is what I said. I was not going to recruit one person if those who are already in the military have not seen those things that they should be getting, the quality of life that the soldiers and their dependent, their spouses should be getting. This is why I told the president that we have to try to increase all of those things that we are doing, the lighting, the time that they will have electricity, because on some bases we have just 6 hours, 7 hours, and they should be having something close to 24 hours of electricity. So if we don't, let's say, improve their quality of life, we don't need to bring a lot of people in the military.
With that being said, then I now go on to the defense ministry where you are now. Right. I remember, though you are in Central Town, and 8 years right there, the Antoinette Totman Stadium also has electricity grid attached. Right. And then you have that. You had a barrack that you were in, and then you were still running a defense ministry on generator when you even got there. That spoke to how those barracks were being affected similarly, because if they are house, not supposed to even be looking at them, is now even struggling. So what is the rationale? Consuming, using generator, and of course the electricity grid you got it on now. What has been the level of consumption?
No, I think we have passed that out of those barracks that are closer to the power, the national power grid. We have already connected them.
All of them?
Right.
Just recently?
Yeah, just two. We have the Coast Guard base and the BDC.
Just recently you did it?
Yeah, we did it a few months ago, maybe about 2 or 3 months ago.
The inception of this government?
Right.
So what's... I can still don't understand. I know the Coast Guard base is somewhere near even the supply area. Right. And I don't know why it was not then. And I'm also saying, but using a fuel in a barrack, you're using fuel there.
Oh, yeah.
So how is it like? Why is it not? Because now you've cut up all of the fuel that you used to use to do area now. Right. Why can't they now go to the barrack and give the people full-time electricity?
No, this is why we only have 12 hours current at the EBK barracks. Okay. Even if you get all of the fuel, it cannot really go for 24 hours.
If you were to cut off the defense ministry fuel,
right,
cut off the Coast Guard and all of those ones,
right,
because the BDC is also...
you still need some fuel at the Coast Guard and even at the BDC, just
because of
standby generator.
Yeah, okay.
You just don't want to take all of the fuel. So even if you took half of each of those barracks and gave it to the EBK, I think it would just carry them for 12 hours.
You are now the defense minister.
Right.
And you came through the ranks. You were there with them. They are listening to you now, speaking as administrator. And of course, your man, the chief of staff, Prince C. Johnson, is now sitting there as the technocrat. Right. Now he sits in that position. Let's look at the barrack itself, because sometimes you receive calls from there. Not only electricity, you talk about water supply, and of course, there are sponsors. You mentioned all of that. And you see, these things are very much key because you were down the line there before. Right. What has the president told you, with the exception of the military hospital we'll talk about, we'll get to that. What has he really told you? Is he really responsible? As commander-in-chief, is he really taking on those? Because you are there on purpose, so it doesn't matter.
I think from all the signs on the world, I think he's committed to helping the armed forces of Liberia to reach their actual potential. And I think we are just waiting for the budget to pass. And so once the budget passes, I think we are going to make some inroads.
What are some of the things captured in the budget that you were able to defend?
Promotion.
Promotion, what is that?
You have to promote the soldier or the officer from one rank to another.
And that has some budgetary restraints attached?
It does.
Well, see why you don't promote people easily because our money business inside.
Yes.
So as you promote the man, you got to increase his salary, benefits, change his quarter where he lives. He has to move to another area if he's domiciled in a barrack.
Exactly. And so we also want to renovate or rehabilitate most of those barracks so as to at least try to reduce the congestion in the barracks. Okay. We also want to, we want to improve the quality of life with respect to giving them the medical, okay, because most of those clinics that are in those barracks, they don't have the kind of medical supply that they should have to take care of the soldiers and their dependents. So those are other things that we are looking at, and there are much more that we will look at, the uniforms, and the list go.
That's good. What happened to the 72nd barrack? Any plans? Your predecessor was very strong about that barrack that they put in there to move because our military personnel need a place. No. There were people like you were fighting for.
No, I had a meeting with the people at the 72nd barracks. I had a meeting with the leadership, and I think we have agreed at the end of this month we'll be signing an MOU and I think they will have 1 year to find place to be relocated. And so after 1 year, they will.
You're not going to facilitate that.
No,
The
no.
MOU would have nothing to do with that.
No.
Okay.
No. They should have left this month from several appeals from some lawmakers and even the president. And so I think I gave them a latitude for them to have 1 year to relocate themselves.
So that barrack would now be fully functional again.
Exactly.
And you have some of the personnel there.
Sure.
Are there soldiers living outside of the barracks?
Oh, yeah.
With the exception of the 2,000 you have?
Yeah, there
All
are.
of your barracks can be able to accommodate them?
No, there are soldiers who are living out of the barracks, but they report when it's time for duty.
Who send them out of the barrack? You throw them out or they are optional?
Optional.
So if I'm in a barrack now and I want to move out because I think that problem, I can leave now?
But when it's time for duty, be there 5:30 for reveille.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the challenging part. So it doesn't matter. If I want to move, let me move. All right, now, what's happening to these soldiers' money that was the center of controversy at the time you were Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia?
I knew you were going to bring this up.
Yeah.
I think the money problem, we are solving it. I've instructed the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia, General Prince Johnson, for him to distribute the money.
They have it now?
Yes, we don't have it in full. We have a little over 600,000.
Okay.
And I think...
That's what government has made available.
No. That was left in the covers by...
That was left in the covers. Oh, the one left in the covers.
Right.
All right.
And we have also appealed to the president, and they should be making some 400,000 available for us to distribute it from the lowest rank up. And so if all of the distribution were to go on, I would be the last.
You will be the last.
Right.
So they're starting with the lowest rank.
Right.
Those are the people that are going to receive their money.
First.
Right.
Right.
So if it
And
doesn't
then
reach
we
to
climb
people
up the
then like
ladder.
you...
Or then we wait for another allocation for
So
us
how
to-
much are we talking about in total that's supposed to be reimbursed to those people?
1.4 million. So if you add the 1.4 million to the 600,000 plus, then you are talking about some $2 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
And out of that, you will be having pretty close. So you have 1 million outstanding.
Right.
After the government will be able to make available
The 400,000.
the 400,000.
Right.
But again, while it's true that backfired, the essence of that was good.
No, it was.
So what
good.
now happens?
No, I think we will now have to go on the drawing board so that those who are paying the money will be a part of it. This is why I told Prince, and I think the former defense minister here grew with us that we should put stop to the payment and there should be no withdrawal. Now, I told Prince to go and do his distribution plan because I just don't want him to put my signature to a check or to affix my signature to a check that will go and withdraw money, and then at the end of the day, we don't know how it was really distributed. So the distribution plan is 98%, so he's out of the country. He should be here by tomorrow. When he comes, I will make sure that the soldiers will have the money before the 26th.
Before the 26th?
Yes.
Oh, the lowest ranked soldiers now.
Yeah, the lowest rank.
The toppers.
Okay, so they will have the money.
Yeah, the guys.
I've already...
So in
I've
full,
already-
that means the lower ranks people, you will be able to settle their money in full.
Yes.
You're not giving them half.
No, I'm not going to settle it. No, I'm going to settle them. So, for example, if your contribution was $10, and if they do the calculation, if there were any interest or whatsoever, that will be given to you. I told Prince that we should not play with that, and he's committed to
That
do
is
it.
very motivating, especially when you do that. Anyway, you're one of them. So, so it's not strange that you're looking alike. Now, the military hospital,
Right.
how far is it?
Our military hospital is ongoing, and the rain is a challenge. However, it's ongoing. The government released the first 700,000, and the construction is going on. So maybe by the middle of October, I think we would have been on a really far place. Right.
All October.
Right.
And that project is supposed to last for how long?
Just a little over a year, because you are not just talking about the structure, you are talking about equipping it, you are talking about putting a lot of stuff there. And thankfully, I think the Chinese government, through the instrumentality of the former defense minister, we talked to the Chinese government, and they should be bringing some $2.5 million worth of medical equipment and some medication.
Okay. Well, we have our military personnel that you people have been fighting to build their capacity in other areas. You are the pilots Also, that was quite good, but he comes home not
so I'm still trying to look for some resources here and there for them to try to make them to be functional.
How do you do that? You want to get the plane, the military jet or whatever here for them?
No, we don't need military.
How you make them functional now? They means a pilot.
So all we have to do, and this is why everything that I don't want to, that's prematurely ask them, but these plans are really in the place.
Are you talking with friendly government so that they can donate some of these things to us? Then they just give us some of their OO jets so that we can be flying it around from here.
It's not just easy for a country to just give you a jet or whatsoever. I mean, it will take some process because you are talking about the maintenance of it. You are not just talking about somebody giving you, it's like...
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, you are like already here trying to talk about some economic problem, and then you want for somebody to just give you a jet. You have to come with the maintenance plan and all this stuff. So these are things that we are working on. Hopefully, we will be reaching a conclusion sooner. All
right, General. And do we have a national security networking plan? Because though the police has its own responsibility, the AFL has its own. In terms of joint security mechanism that have been put in place to have this country to move on a smooth path.
Sure. I think everything is in place and everything that's been done in there. I cannot say all that can be said all yet, but there are a lot of work that's been done. You must understand that we have been working together for the past 2 or 3 years, and so I think within 2 or 3 months, we'll be having the operation watch over that we used to have.
Okay.
Okay, the watch over that
we'll settle that.
Yeah,
just go ahead. We'll try to settle that. All right, sorry. And Truth 96.1 FM, the FM service of the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. We are here with General Daniel Ziankan. He's the Defense Minister for the Republic of Liberia, former Chief of Staff, if he has worked today. And we're discussing issues relating to our country, and that is where we are. Though we started on this, but I would like to go back to it. The current prevailing economic situation, these are harsh realities.
Right.
And someone will say that it has the propensity to threaten security. And these are some of the situations. Though not only the low-rank officers themselves, not only that, but when the citizens are getting angry, they cannot be controlled, they have lost faith within the government, all of that now, it poses the security to work. How are you looking at that?
Yes, I think we should not think for a second that the economic situation in the country is far from any other thing that we'll be doing. Everything we're doing is just the function of economics, and this is why they will tell you that the instrument of national power it lies in 4 main things, and it will just be summarized as DIME, or you can use the acronym DIME.
Okay.
You have the diplomatic, you have the information, you have the military, you have the economy. So if the economy is threatened, the balance tree will be
affected.
Should affect it. So we are aware about, like I was telling you, we have this operation watch over, and the watch over we have been having it for the past 4 to 5 years, and that has to do with the interoperability of all of the security institutions, and so that was being led by the armed forces of Liberia in year past. But I think about 2 or 3 years ago, I decided to cede that responsibility to the LMP.
Okay.
Because most of the things that we will try to encounter in this country will be internal security operation or ISO. So we are working together, and we have meetings regularly. The chief of staff, the police, boss, and the DEA boss, and all those guys, they have meetings all of the time. And at the ministerial level, we have the justice minister, who is head for the joint security.
Okay.
And so he calls for meeting all of the time, and I think we address most of these issues.
Great to have that. He's here with us this morning, and you can now get to the lines. You can call in now on 0777 0775 373 is the number to call right here on Truth 96.1 FM. And then we go on to this. But before we can get to the lines, you are the defense minister.
Right.
One of the fear people had in your predecessor was he took party posture while serving in that position. You are young, a young president also in the office. Are there plans for you to join the CDC?
That's so funny. Maybe I don't want to be a partisan. I don't think I will be one.
Why?
Okay. I don't know, because I think I have so much respect for patriots.
But do you know that you are a politician?
I hold a political.
Not the politician you are.
I hold a political position, but I don't consider myself a politician. Because I think the reality there is that, like I always told people, I have so much respect for patriots than I do for partisans. Because I mean, you can move from one party to another party, but I mean, to go, even if you naturalize yourself in the great United States of America, you still think of Liberia. You cannot just betray Liberia.
I like that. You are a patriot and not a partisan.
Yes.
So if every supporter of a political party were to do these things from a patriotic standpoint, then the country moves forward.
I know. I mean, they have every right to be a member of any political party that they want to be, but for me, I mean, count me out.
But you can be part of a political party and still be a patriot.
Yes.
But you're going to be supporting a political party
Sure.
from a patriotic standpoint.
Yeah, sure, you can be a patriot and still, I mean, I'm not saying that those who are partisan are not patriots, but I just choose to remain a patriot.
So you will never join a political... You have never supported any political party
No,
before?
never.
In your whole life?
Never, ever.
Even when you were in school?
Look, I can support an individual who belongs to a political party. Okay, so it is maybe the person's attitude, the way they carry out themselves, and maybe the plans that they have to really do something for the country or for their community. But to go and join a political party where you were planning to be Secretary General for me to say, no, I will not.
But you were never, and you were one of the neutral persons, especially the folks you came from in these elections.
Right.
Now, here you are, you were caught up to duty because of maybe your capabilities you got in you in terms of what it takes and what the government wants. That is why it's like. But going forward, you are now being introduced to a different terrain. And that terrain calls for commitment, dedication, loyalty. You have to put everything to bed.
Sure.
That could even extend to you taking up a membership so that your line is clear.
Maybe I will support the president every other endeavor. And I swore before man and the Almighty God to protect the state.
Okay.
And I will guard him at every level. But I did not take the job with the understanding that I would be a partisan. I was never a partisan in the past government. I would not be a partisan in this government. Because if I do that, I would be putting the military in an awkward situation. And you want an apolitical military. You don't want me as the defense minister to say, a member of PPP or CCC or whatever, then of course you know that.
You will have an uncle too that will be running. You have to support your uncle.
I know you want to bring your money some kind of right? No.
Question, Amy, quickly before we go to the line. You've just stated that you have taken oath to protect the president in whatever way and protect the state. Quite recently, I guess you heard in the news about a Liberian in the diaspora, one Amos, who, quote unquote, it was speculated that he said, some coup action or something like that.
Yeah, around there, yeah.
No, we have dealt with that at the national security level. I don't really want to delve into that. But, but the reality there is that I think the president knows that all of those who he has appointed to serve in whatever capacity at the national security level, they order first to the state, the constitution, because president will come and president will go. Okay. But the constitution will remain, the country will remain.
Sure.
However, he is the one that will be doing everything to carry the state forward. So you have to protect him so that he will be able to carry out his daily responsibilities.
All right. So let's get to the lines now, cause
5373657 is the number to call. We have the defense minister here, retired chief of staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia, Minister Daniel Zianga, here with us this morning on the TBS. Call us on 0775373657. And we can just pick your call right now. Perhaps you have some questions, you have some commendations. Let me talk to this first caller here this morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Let's hear you quickly. Don't hold the line.
This is Roland Benson, and I call you from the Ravenswood Highway.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Honorable Minister.
Yeah, good morning. How you doing?
I just want to tell Honorable Minister for the elections in the Highway.
Thank
But
you.
this is what's going to happen, and bringing us to the problem. We want you to look up after our men in the barracks because time you go to studio, you're talking about welfare. And I think the welfare is not being seen by other people. And then I'm going to see lament on a compulsory that they always discuss on radio.
All right. Yeah, so let me get on to this caller here, and then we'll be able to get back to Oscar. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you. Let me say good morning to the minister. This is Warwick Brian.
Warren Brian, go ahead.
If you start the conversation up this morning, when you ask my own cousin, and the payment, when you say, but why the payment goes on and down to reach to you, the money finish. And my cousin, that's why it's slow motion. But that particular day, not reach that point. This is the reason I call. And your last question to the minister laid the foundation for my question. When you ask for your political connection and other stuff, I just want the minister to help me and people listen to this talk show. How does he feel that the president in his capacity as the standard bearer of the political party and not in his capacity as the CRC, where he normally goes at the the whole shopping barrier and normally practice with them. On this occasion, the president in his political capacity when at the PTC to play the football to go observant of his political party property, where political songs were sung, some very provocative songs were sung.
Okay.
And not the military thing that he normally does with the army people at
All right.
the whole shopping barrier.
All right.
The minister does all. How does he feel?
All right, you will talk to that, Brian. You will talk to that. Yeah. Yeah, you will talk to that. You will try to answer to that. And let's try to get on to the next caller. 0775-373-657 is the number to call this morning on Tune 96.1 FM.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead. We don't have much time.
Okay, thank you. My name is Patrick Sopo. I'm from let me commend the minister. But my concern here is the attrition rate. Mr. Minister, you spoke frankly about the number of men we should have in the army. What are you doing to discourage or minimize the attrition rate? Thank you.
All right, so let's get on to the next caller. 0775-373-657. One more call and then we are done.
Okay,
Yeah. I don't want to breach protocol today.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, how you doing?
I'm okay. Maybe at times it's good to congratulate people on the White House. First of all, I'm Joseph Sikibase and I phoned in from the R2 community.
All right.
Always, I just want to urge you to be cognizant of the fact that your police you left at the barrel. There should not be anything that will deter you to turn your back on them. Please do more as you have emphasized on it, so that whenever you leave this position, it makes you forever.
Thank you so much. We have to hold you there. No time now.
All right, yeah, boss. We
Yeah,
can
let
go
me
on.
try
At
to
least,
answer.
Warren Bryant.
Warren Bryant. Okay, let me try to take it from there. Look, Warren Bryant, I'm not too big or I'm not too, naive to know that when something goes wrong, I should stay there. Look, I was the one who advised the president to have his private sessions in the barracks at the BDC. He loved football. I must say I played the ball game. And so I just wanted him to be in a controlled environment so as to at least make him to feel
while doing
comfortable
what
to
he
play
wants.
his game.
Okay.
Now, as it relates to the president going there and singing political song, I don't think that was okay. Okay, we talked about that, and I think it was wrong. We don't want the military barracks to be used for any political reason. So if the president went there, and that's something I cannot apologize for, to allow the president of the country to go and practice in the barrack. But when it comes to maybe raising some political songs or whatever, especially during the day, I think the Pro Day, that was wrong, and we have talked about that. I don't think that will be seen again. He recognized that. So I think he listens. If something went wrong, I think he's not too big to to really admit to that. So I think I must apologize to the public for that, not to any political party, but to the public. That was not okay. Okay, the second thing that I think somebody talked about the attrition rate. What am I doing? I think I've already outlined those things that we should be doing to improve the quality of lives of the soldiers and their dependents. So I think that's something that I'm looking at. So I think
that was good. Thank you so much. He's a patriot and not a partisan. That's the part I love about it. When you are a patriot, you always, patriots can open their eyes all through. Partisans can close their eyes to some things. They'll be praising. All right, thank you, Honorable Defense Minister, for being with us here this morning. It's a pleasure, and always that really is good. Our soldiers will celebrate their 26th with their money and the low-rank soldiers. So if you want the money, reduce your rank today and go back to it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the invite.
Okay, great. We say thanks to all of you for being there. Oscar Mobile had been here with me as my partner, and the Ade and team had been here streaming live on Facebook. Thanks to all those who followed us wherever in any parts of the world. Those locally here, we say thanks to you for the time. We're going to be taking our break from here today. Tomorrow, Jacob Abien and Musa Kana will be here. Then on Thursday, we'll be right back here with you to be able to play our final part for this week when it relates to the TBS. Until then, have a pleasant time. Bye-bye.